Good morning. It is Thursday at the end of January, and I want to talk about our actions and the loops that our actions perpetuate in life, uh, and the part of us that is noticeable or noticing of these cycles. So here's what I want to start, right? The idea that this will be familiar to you, right? The idea that today, at this moment, um, I am the result of all the actions that I've taken in the past. And I say that to distinguish from the idea that there is a concrete set of attributes that exist and will continue to exist, right? There is instead this sort of aggregate of outcomes of the different actions, thoughts, feelings that occurred previously. And part of the meditation practice is to uh, both narrow and broaden the window of that awareness, right? So to become, during the course of meditation, increasingly precise in noting the uprising of sensation and thought, emotions, um, reactions. And then at the same time, broaden out to understand that who I am right now is the result not just of the very immediate window, like I have a cup of coffee that I'm drinking. I am now um, experiencing the results of having drunk that cup of coffee. I'm also experiencing the results of the coffee I drank yesterday, and the coffee I drank 10 years ago, the coffee I drank 40 years ago. I'm experiencing the results of the evolution of the coffee bean. You get what I'm saying, right? Like there's a way to broaden out our interconnection and then zero in on our actions and the results of those actions. And the sensation of who I am, who you are right now, is the result of all of those actions. So the dynamic nature of choice and free will uh, really gets sharpened with that. Excuse me, with that thought. Because in a very real way, I can do nothing in this moment other than what I am doing. Uh, I talked about this a few weeks ago with that Robert Frost poem, The Road Not Taken. And it's a very interesting sensation to think about uh, where is my thought coming from? Where is my choice coming from? But let's step away from that for a moment because uh, I can recognize that I am in one kind of cycle or another. Like, for example, this morning, it's very clear to me that for the last couple of weeks, I have been perpetuating an unskillful cycle. I've been anxious about work. I haven't been super clued into that. I've just been anxious and responding to it. But the way I've responded to it is I stopped journaling, which I can see now because the last time I journaled was Monday, and then the time before that was Friday, and then before that was Tuesday, which is very unusual, right? My journaling practice is daily, usually morning and evening. So I have some data that tells me that I've stopped doing one of the actions that helps cultivate what I consider to be a skillful or a wholesome immediacy. Yeah? Uh, at the same time, I haven't been exercising. I haven't been overeating, but I've been under exercising. And at the time, I'd say, well, it's been flipping cold, right? Last week, the week before, the temperatures were in single digits and below in Fahrenheit. It's very cold. So I'm just not willing to go out in that weather. And walking is one of my primary exercises. So Now we're starting to see several important vectors coalescing and uh, and just creating a sensation of not feeling great. And then when I don't feel great, um, I tend to spend more time lethargically um, doom scrolling. For example, the last couple of weeks has marked the inauguration of a new president here in the United States, and it's a whatever you think about the politics and whatever you think about what you think my politics might be, uh, it is a profoundly interesting and absorbing time. Uh, and I think I can say that no matter where you are on the political spectrum, it's a time of anxiety or a time of high energy, one way or the other. It's very distracting. Uh, so again, it's easy to justify what I think is actually negative behavior, which is sitting with my phone, scrolling news, thinking that I'm informing myself. What I'm really doing is deadening my brain. All right, so how do I know that? Like this is all of that. I think, like I said, you're very familiar with the idea that we are the aggregate of our previous actions, and the lived experience of that is also something I think that uh, we're quite familiar with from meditation and from reading and from study. What's interesting to me right now is what part of me says, um, "Hey, Andrew, don't do that anymore. Do this. Make a point to journal. Get out for the walk today." Like the foundational actions that I rely on are not profound. Drink water, go for a walk, journal, meditate, write. I do other things, of course. I do a lot of other practice stuff, but those are the five pillars of my daily daily habits. Right, they're like the bedrock of embodiment. Uh, what part of me wakes up and says that the moment that I'm in is not the moment I want to be in, or that the moment I'm in needs to be adjusted so that the the flow of the river will shift. Like there's almost, there's a hydroelectric engineer observing my state of mind and um, implementing. The metaphor is not going to hold. Locks or dams or dikes. I don't know, shifting the banks of the river, or moving to a different point on the river, or jumping into the river. Uh, Not a good metaphor, but there's an observer or an observing attribute of my mind that knows that although today, right now, I can do nothing else other than what I'm doing, but what I'm doing is adjusting so that my future self will have a different unfolding. Uh, what part of awareness does that? That's what's interesting to me today, right now. What part of my awareness uh, kicks in and but wasn't here yesterday, right? Uh, what part of it is of my previous actions means that today now I wake up and say, yeah, I don't like the way this is going, right? Again, none of this is obscure. There's just a bit of language around it and a bit of focus. Um, that's my meditation today. What part of the mind can adjust the pieces that otherwise appear to already have been determined? So let me know what you think in a comment or an email. Uh, I do like getting questions, comments. I always enjoy the emails that I get. So please drop a note. Let me know what you think. And other than that, keep your wits about you.